Hi everyone. Today I am going to demonstrate a quick agent that I designed for ServiceNow incident troubleshooting. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually be triggering this agent directly off of ServiceNow using a minimal ServiceNow workflow that essentially triggers a agent entry point that we have created in the Itential platform that will launch this agent. And essentially, if we start looking at the definition of this agent, the job for this agent is to troubleshoot a specific issue on a target device. So we're gonna communicate a particular device, a particular issue, say a routing issue or some interface or something like that. And there are some rules in here. The first thing that the agent has to do is extract context from the ticket. So the agent will take in some context from the ticket via ServiceNow, namely the issue summary from the incident itself. It's going to be getting the incident details using the incident number and parsing some of that data. It also has some tooling from the Itential platform. Namely, in here, it only has one command template, which is called static route troubleshooting. And we're going to simulate that kind of problem today. But there are multiple issues that it can actually go and execute, or we could actually add a lot more troubleshooting tooling, or we could just let it use its intelligence to use its capability that it has via the Itential platform to execute commands on devices and come up with a conclusion. Then it has to investigate a root cause. So in this case, we're very focused on routing troubleshooting. So we have some conditions in here saying if the route is present and has a valid next hop, investigate the next hop reachability. If the route is missing from the routing table, investigate the routing protocol state. If the route is missing or present via null or drop, investigate the policy or static route config. So a few conditions in there that I can use. Instead of letting the agent just reason through that, we have added some of those conditions. We could actually let the agent just reason through that, right? The LLMs are quite good at this. And then it's going to assess and update the ServiceNow ticket. So this is almost becoming like a tier 1 troubleshooting agent, right? Incident gets created, somebody reports a problem at a remote office or data center or something like that, and instead of going to the NOC directly and the NOC engineer having to triage a ticket and log into the box and capture outputs and make an interpretation off of that, we're going to use an agent to kind of do that first level of troubleshooting and triaging. So we have the agent here. We have the second tab, which is going to show us the missions once it gets kicked off. Right now, there's nothing running. I think everything is completed. We have the entry point configured right here, and that lets me do it via the Itential platform. I can configure an entry point very quickly that has that route called incident troubleshooting agent, and it just requires a context object. That's it. So that's all we're requiring from ServiceNow: a context object that publishes and sends me the incident summary ticket and then some data from the incident. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and create our ticket. We got our ticket number there, which is self-assigned. I'm gonna call it as my name. Category is network, and subcategory, I'm just gonna leave it alone. I don't have the proper, I could call it IP address or something. And then the short description is what matters here. So I'm gonna go and I already have something that's pre-described here. I have a routing issue to IP 100.0030/24 on this router. And then I have this Itential AI here. Now this serves as a trigger to tell ServiceNow anything that has this kind of namespace or prefix here, Itential AI, will call my Itential agent for troubleshooting. This could be configured in many different ways. This is a very ServiceNow specific thing. I have decided to do it this way. I'm sure there's probably a lot of other ways to do it via, creating some sort of custom object in here or something that says I want to request a particular type of troubleshooting or something like that. So that will create that incident there, and then I will see an entry point here, and I should see my agent being launched. So we're gonna refresh my FlowAI executions table here in the platform. Let's go refresh the page now then. Okay, so my incident troubleshooting agent is running. I'm gonna go back and look at it here, and we actually get this really nice view that's live on the agent. So we got the agent reasoning here. It says I'll start by extracting the key details from the prompt. We got the device, we got the route, we got the prefix. So notice that everything that was done in ServiceNow, right? This ticket that was custom 12601 that has no notes on it whatsoever at the moment. We'll see that change in a minute. We'll actually got some of the details as well with the incident number. So it's saying now let me kick off steps 2 and 3 in parallel. So it's done the static route troubleshooting. It's gotten the ServiceNow incident details as well. And it's now decided to go ahead and actually supplement the results from the static route troubleshooting, which it got some data there, right? There's some output from the commanding here. So it's looking, oh, it found the route right here somewhere. And excellent findings. I see critical data, static route for 100.0.0./24 exists via tunnel 0 with this next hop, but the tunnel is down. So it's actually executing a direct command into the device. Now notice this is a show command only. So only read-only access to the device, right? So this is what's really important, is having those guardrails added to the agent so that it can't just go and start, you know, turning things on and turning things off and stuff like that. We're only having it do triage for us. And while I've been talking here, it's done. I now have a complete picture. The root cause is clear. Tunnel 0 is down due to an IPsec failure. Let me update the ServiceNow incident with all the findings. And it did that, right? It did update ServiceNow incident. We have all the job tracing, everything with the agent response. And if I go to ServiceNow, I'm going to go and refresh my page with my incident. And 001261. Here we go. Perfect. Look at that. Wow. So this is really impressive, the amount of stuff that we could do. I could actually have it condense this down, but I think this is a good level of detail where it actually shows you the automated troubleshooting report for this ticket. It's got the device, the route under investigation, the commands executed, show IP static route, show IP route, show interfaces tunnel, operationally down. It's got the details here. You know, the route is configured, but the route is inactive. And then it'll give you the actual root cause analysis. The route is unreachable. The route is configured, and let me zoom in here a little bit. The static route is configured with outbound interface tunnel 0 and next hop 192.168.100.2. However, tunnel 0 is down, which causes the route to be suppressed from the active routing table. As a result, traffic destined for 100.0.0.30 has no valid forwarding path. And that's great. Most probable cause is an IPsec negotiation failure between the local endpoint and the remote peer, preventing the tunnel from establishing. And it has recommended remediation action. Now, I controlled it. I told it to stop there. But if I were to say, hey, go and identify what the peer is, go and identify the peer device, because actually the platform has access to both those devices, I could actually have it go further and even troubleshoot the crypto issue. I didn't do that. I opted for just keeping it simple, just for the sake of this ticket. But you can imagine the power of this thing, and we could actually make this agent generic by providing it a knowledge base. We've done some of this knowledge base experimentation with perhaps, you know, attaching a GitLab markdown document with some guidelines on how to troubleshoot and so forth. You can imagine the kind of power that an agent like this would have, and it's pretty amazing. So pretty cool stuff. That's all I wanted to show today. We got the whole FlowAI trace and execution of the agent. The design is pretty straightforward. We got the conclusion right here in FlowAI as well, with all the jobs and everything. So I got visibility to everything that went on, all the commands, all the outputs, as well as my ticket fully triaged. Thanks for tuning in.